Máquina do tempo e na velocidade não tem igual. Máquina do tempo e na velocidade não tem igual.
You want to introduce us this week, Law?
Yeah, of course. Let's just go. You guys ready?
Yeah.
All right, everybody, what's up? Welcome to the Highly.
No, I don't like that. You gotta do that again. You gotta do that again. Hold on.
He on his Jermaine Jackson shit.
Do that shit over.
Why? What do you mean?
Yo, my nigga like Jermaine Jackson. Nah, Joe Jackson. Do it again. But I'm not ready. Do it again. We'll stay here all night doing intros, nigga.
All right, niggas. Episode 6. What's up? It's the Highly Advised podcast. I'm here with my co-host Spence. Nigel.
What's
going on?
Spence, tell them your
social,
all your handles. Yep, your social handles.
Keep the grip on me like a handle. Anyway, follow me on Instagram at Saint Kitch st.kitch. Yeah, same thing go for Twitter, but _ST_KITCH. I feel low key. I be feeling like I want to be like Jadakiss at that moment. It's like KI double. Know me, stay out of trouble type shit.
Relaxing Jackson _ Jackson. Find me on Instagram like that.
Well, what's your name?
Oh, my name is Nigel. Huh?
What's your middle name?
What the fuck?
Well, I guess
What's your
I'm not gonna give out the whole government, but nah.
Oh, okay. Because
I might
give out your because you give
Nah. I'm good.
So, yo, what's your credit card number? What's your PIN number, bro?
Yeah.
So, your Instagram, your Twitter, the Nigel No Shame.
Oh, is it Nigel No Shame still?
Yeah.
Oh, find me on Twitter, Nigel No Shame. Simple.
Okay. So, how was your week, though, Nigel? Tell everybody how was your week, man.
How was my week? It wasn't so bad. I just went to work. Been steady working, doing my job, working out, keeping up with the news, watching things. Things are good. It's warm outside today. I took a walk. I enjoyed the breeze. It's nice and peaceful outside.
That's what's up. Did you try that Jim Jones workout I sent you?
I tried it. Yeah, I know he's trying to get everybody fit during quarantine, so I figured I'd be like Jim. Yeah.
How'd that work out? Cause that
perfectly.
Are you serious?
No, I'm joking. I didn't do any of that shit. I didn't. Nah, I'll just do my normal thing. But I'm about to start. I got a few weights around. I haven't really been doing a whole bunch of weights, more or less calisthenic shit. So I'm about to start incorporating that too.
I ain't mad at that. Shit, I might end up looking into that. I typically just use kettlebells, so I've been walking, kettlebells, and that's really about it. Honestly, that's how I've been moving. That's how I keep myself active, at least while I close up this last semester and shit. But honestly, I ain't really been up too much. Just trying to get through the semester. Semester almost done. Oh, before I say anything else, rest in peace, Fred the Godson.
Man, rest in peace. That's so sad, man.
Rest in peace for real.
Yeah, because ever since and I'm not even gonna lie, I'm not one of them people that's like, oh my god, I was a big fan. Nah, I wasn't. I remember hearing about him in high school or early, right after high school. I was like, oh, he's all right. And I never paid no more attention to him. And then Lau reminded me that we saw him at the Vinny show. I was like, shit, I started looking for the shit and I started watching these different. I didn't realize the verse that he was spitting was from the Jim Jones album. That was one of my favorite verses from that shit. I've been watching a lot of his rap videos. I didn't know, he battled. He was Charlie Clip's first battle, right?
Really?
Yeah, I've seen that video.
Actually, I started watching some of his battle, his freestyles. I was like, yo, some was nice. He's one of the people I'm mad I didn't look into because he's someone that deserved his flowers while he was here.
It's sad how, Sir Michael Rock said it best. You know what I mean? When you're dead in God, that's what everybody, wants to start paying respects and showing love and all that. But when you hear nobody really fucking with you like that. And I mean, it's kind of like an unfair statement at the same time because maybe you don't have to be a fan of everybody, but you know what I mean. I think this time around, though, not everybody's showing fake love. They're just paying respects and moving on.
Yeah,
which is what you should do if you're not really like close to that person when they're like alive and here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Like, don't be so in a rush to, essentially get shine off of their death. That's not cool.
Yeah. Only thing, like, for me, the only thing I was doing, only thing, like, I looked for was, like, because I remember recording a lot of stuff from that Benny show and was like, yo, let me see if I got anything from him. But nothing, I had nothing that appeared, so I just kind of left it at that. And I was like, all right, I ended up seeing the clip that, I remember I actually saw the video of him being at the show on someone's IG, but other than that nigga said some wild shit. Like, he was like, I treat you like a quarter, put the eagle to the back of your head. It was another bar he had where he said something about it. It's like, I screwed the fifth on. He's like, I screwed the Ida on later, put the fifth in my pants. Now, that's why they call me a dictator. I'm like, this, like, I don't know if you catch it, but it's like that. Screwing the silencer on, put a potato on the gun, and put it in your pants.
Okay.
So shut the fuck up. I swear, anytime you gotta explain bars, it start losing its value. But like, nah, he's like, I tuck it in my jeans. I call it a dictator. Potatoes, stuff it in your jeans.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah. I like it when I have to look up bars sometimes because sometimes it's like for Jay Electronica's album, like, he was literally saying things that I had never heard before. So it was like, okay, I really got to look this shit up and see what it actually means.
So, Nigel, I'm going to say something that Rob Banks said, and you tell me if you understood it. Understand this or not. He said, I'm in that GT like baby Vegeta.
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Hold on.
You like that?
Run that past me again.
I'm in that GT like baby Vegeta.
I rock with that. That's a cool bar.
But you know what a GT is, right?
Yeah.
Nissan GTR? Yeah. I said that to somebody and it went clearly over their head.
Well, are they in the anime?
I don't know.
Well,
I guess you're right? Because you got to understand where Vegeta comes from and all that.
Right. And then Dragon Ball GT. What baby Vegeta even is, you know what I mean? Like, some people won't understand that.
But how do y'all feel about Mr. West? You know what I mean? Mr. Kardashian West.
A billion on the board. Man.
Yeah, being the next billionaire of the rap game, First it was his guy Jay, now it's him.
The first thing I thought when I heard that,
you about to say some flagrant shit.
Nah, not even anything crazy. It's just like, I just think it's funny that he was just like, I am broke, and they started like a GoFundMe for Kanye West. This dude's a fucking billionaire. He doesn't need our money. I guarantee you that. Like,
I mean, how you think he became a billionaire, bro?
Like, nah, man. There's something wrong with that. But it's like, at the same point in time, if he can convince people to make a GoFundMe for him, then hey. I can't feel bad. It was, you remember when I think he was on, if I'm not mistaken, this was around the time he was on a Sway show, and he was just like, I went broke trying to start my fashion company, and then people built a GoFundMe for him I think it was because he was asking for money from the people who run Facebook or whatever.
Yeah, Mark Zuckerberg, because he was like in 50 at the time he was 50 M's in debt.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, but that was like 5 years ago. Like, he bounced back. Since then, like, the Yeezys
he bounced back to $1 billion.
Yeah.
You think Yeezy jumped over Jordan or not?
That's a hard one now. I mean, it's going to take some more time to see, because Kanye is in that space right now where he's just becoming, like, clothes wise, like, his brand, like the Yeezy brand is standing alone, can stand by itself. Less without him now, I think, more than ever. So, like, Michael Jordan hasn't picked up hasn't played basketball in 20 years, damn near, and Jordan still sell off the rack. So it's gonna be granted, they all retros, they're mainly retros, but I don't know. We gotta see what's gonna happen with Kanye.
You know, Jordan is not even the number one brand of sneakers. You know, they're like number three. The number one and two brands is Nike, of course, Nike, but Adidas.
Okay. Well, I can understand that. But even then, though, with Jordan, to me, even though Jordan is its own brand, I always couple it with Nike.
Yeah, me too.
Because
Well,
even though
it is under
it's
Nike.
its own, yeah.
Yeah.
So like to me, when I see those shoes alone saved Nike because I think at the time he was trying to go to Adidas or something like that.
Well, thank God, man, because like I like Adidas, but their basketball shoes are hideous, man. Kobe left their ass and went to Nike.
It might be one of the smartest things that Nike did, like partnering up with Jordan, because I mean, I can only imagine they've been making a ton of money off of them for years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you know, Nike they blew Steph Curry. They blew a business for him, and that's why Steph Curry went to Under Armour. And it was over something small because somebody they messed up saying his name. So Steph felt like they didn't have enough. They were like, well, if you can use my likeliness, but you don't have enough respect to pronounce my name correctly, I'm gonna leave. And he went to Under Armour, and now Under Armour is one of the top, shoe brands for basketball out there.
That's a wild reason to not have somebody on your, you know what I mean, like your brand. That's just kind of crazy. What they say, like Stephon Curry.
Something I think it's on YouTube, but he left Nike and went straight to Under Armour, and now you see Under Armour is big as hell. And I think one of the reasons why is because of Steph.
Yeah, and they caught a lot. He caught a lot of flack at first because them shoes were trash. And slowly but surely, like they just because he's to some extent he's kind of what Michael Jordan was to Nike.
Yeah,
to some extent in terms of footwear. Because but even then for Nike, when Nike did that deal with them, it was in a garage.
For real?
Yeah, it was like if you look it up, like if you look up the photo, it's in a garage. Like because Nike didn't have money like that. Nike was like I think Nike was a track shoe at the time. It wasn't until Jordan really came that it really decided to become like a basketball shoe company. Like, granted, I think they had shoe deals before with like Larry Bird or Magic Johnson, I believe. Because I think the Air Force One came out before the Jordans did. I think
the Air Force One's been out before Jordans. Yeah, actually, Jordan had his retro number ones. I think like on his first couple of years.
Yeah. But the retro ones was designed by the same person that made the Dunks. Yeah. So that's why they look so much alike. But back to like the Kanye shit though. Kanye being a billionaire, it leads me to question a couple things. Cause you know how we look at Puff and we look at I guess Dr. Dre kinda, cause we always give him like the unofficial label of being a billionaire, though he's not.
I'll look at him in that same vein, though.
If you don't have it on paper, you can't. Don't tell me it.
It's fair enough. I respect that.
Yeah, you're not a billionaire. Like for example, Kobe Covington. He was saying he's the UFC welterweight champion because he beat a couple guys, but he's really not the UFC welterweight champion.
It's fair enough.
Yeah. It's like motherfucking Adesanya talking about, oh, give me John Jones. Give me John Jones. Nah, bro. Give me like a year or two, and then I'll fight you.
I'll be ready then.
I'm very curious to see because he reports that he's reporting that he's worth $3.3 billion, which is like he's at this rate, like I'm questioning he may end up becoming richer than Oprah at this point because Oprah's worth only not only in the context of the conversation, she's only worth like what $4.5-5 billion. Kanye is going from I need money to $1 billion Yeezy, $3 billion Yeezy at this point. Like for every stripe on Adidas, he got $1 billion at this point, and that's kind of crazy.
You think we get the old not the old Kanye, but like the rapping Kanye back, like we had a couple years ago?
No,
you think he's gonna be on his God shit?
I think Kanye is gonna be forever changed. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying that because of money reasons, but he changed his music a long time ago before the money. You know, we'll never get the Kanye that his fans or just any rap fans really want to see in general. We'll never get that Kanye again.
Oh, he's richer than Oprah allegedly. Is allegedly worth. Oprah is worth like only $3 billion apparently. But if he's worth 3.6, he's probably like the second or third richest black man in America. But like,
I'm not sure if I believe that, man.
I mean, but you know, Forbes is subjective, right? Like Forbes don't like pretty much if you don't tell Forbes all your assets or disclose everything to them, like you could be worth like let's say for instance, right? Like you look at the guys that's in the Middle East, right? Those guys, some people allege that they're probably trillionaires, like those kings and stuff like that over there. They're never disclosed when it comes to like the richest people. Like they're more than likely. I'll put it like this: the amount of money, their net worth and fortune is never disclosed to Forbes, right, to the public. But we typically say Jeff Bezos is the richest man in the world, right, at like $130 billion. Those Saudi guys that deal with the oil, that's the kings and all of that shit. They're probably Middle Eastern. I don't want to just say Saudi directly, but some people allege that they're probably worth like $1 trillion. They're probably worth $1 trillion. Like I think Lil Wayne said this once where he was trying to go to some flight. He was trying to get off the plane, a jet. That's what it was. He was getting off a jet to go perform. I think he said this on Drink Champs. They were giving him a bunch of issues and all of this type of stuff. So long story short, the king came or the sheik or whoever the guy that was the most important person in that land. He came there and he was like, "Don't worry about it. Don't even trip. These people won't bother you. You can get off the plane and go straight to the show." He was like, when he walked through, he was like, nobody even looked at Wayne. Everybody cleared out the way. Later that night, Wayne says the sheik or whatever came to him and said, he was like, I really want to apologize. That really makes me mad at because he likes things his way. So he's apologizing to Wayne and he said Lamborghini or Ferrari. And Wayne was thinking, I'm thinking he's trying to quiz me or something. Like, I don't know. He's like Lamborghini. And no, he said Ferrari. He said Lamborghini, I believe. And he was like, what color? He was like, black. He was like, all right, I'll have it to your house in about a month. He was like, well, if that's the case, make it a Lamborghini truck. All black Lamborghini truck. And he said, and 4 to 6 weeks later, there was a Lamborghini truck just sitting there in front of his house that was a gift to him from that prince. All because the people made him mad. Like he was mad that Lil Wayne, the people weren't allowing Wayne off his jet just easily. That's a different type of money. I'm sure Jeff Bezos can do that, but a lot of it comes from the stock of the company, of Amazon, the performance of Amazon. So it's a little different, but I think this thing with Kanye though, it says a lot just in the terms of for him to be a billionaire at this point. It shows that a lot of granted he has like $33 million in stock and a couple other different assets, but you can tell that Yeezy brand itself really kind of to this point. So the question becomes like are Yeezy at this moment, like Yeezys are like high fashion, they're high fashion like a Gucci or a Louis Vuitton to some extent.
Nah, it's not because we can go and buy Yeezys today easily, right? And we won't be hurting at all, right? I could buy 5 pairs of Yeezys right now, and to me, I'll be like, yeah, I'm good.
Oh, you dropping that stimulus check plus some on that?
Yeah,
because that's
you couldn't even buy 5 pairs of Yeezys with the stimulus check.
I know.
I don't think Yeezys are. I'm not saying that they're not highly priced because they are, but they're not like you can't disrespect Gucci and Dior, bro. Those are different. They're like 2 times the price of Yeezys, if sometimes 3 times.
I'll give you that. Because I looked at a pair of Gucci's before. They was like maybe like $550, I think. But like if you were to try to get like I think the Yeezy 700s, I think they go for like $330 or something like that. So even in like in terms of, I'll put it like this. Maybe they're, instead of comparing it to them, maybe would you say it's close to like the Supreme?
Yeah, there we go. They're on that level, yeah.
Like, do you think what he's built with the Yeezy brand, like, do you think how it'll sustain itself over time?
Yeah, of course. Look at Supreme. Look at Bapes. Bapes was around since I was in the ninth grade in high school. They're that big. I mean, Bapes actually been around before then, but like they didn't start catching a lot of love. Basically, there wasn't like nobody was really rocking them like that back in the day until I was like in high school. And
Yeah,
look at
Soulja
them
Boy
now.
made that song.
Yeah, exactly. And look at them now. So I think Yeezys definitely will sustain itself. I mean, especially since they're under Adidas, you know what I mean? So Adidas won't let them fall. That's like a cash cow for them.
That's a fact.
So I think Kanye being a billionaire is cool and all for him. Honestly, you know, I'm not really entirely surprised. It just makes me wonder who's going to be the next, you know, artist to reach a billionaire status now. You know what I mean? Because I think you got Jay, and after Jay is Kanye, and they're rappers. So I wonder if it's going to be another rapper that's going to touch $1 billion. We'll see though.
I got a strong feeling it might end up being Puff. I think it's either going to be Puffy or it's going to be Rihanna. I think it's
being Puff.
I don't know. It's close.
Rihanna, she got stuff going on too, so I wouldn't be surprised if she got it too.
Yeah,
I think she will come along down the line, but I just think that because of what Puff's been doing for so long, he'll hit that mark first. That's all.
I mean, I could, but see, even then, that's where I think that's where I become. I used to think the same thing, but with the whole like seeing Kanye become a billionaire, because I got this news like yesterday. So after seeing that yesterday, I was like, hold on. Kanye didn't really start making that stride until like since like maybe in terms of that financial stride, I'll say probably in the last like 12 years. Because granted, he had like Louis Vuitton shoes and all of that, and collabs and the Nike collabs. I know Nike's got to be killing himself right now because of this, but like he had like all those collabs like over the years, and now he's gotten here. But like you got to think about it. Puff's been out since what 93. He's been out for what almost 30 years.
Yeah,
and I think he's going to reach that number. That's without question. But I think he just hasn't. I think the question becomes like, yo, he hasn't reached it yet, but what Rihanna's doing in terms of products, like she's making a multi-purpose product that's going to last with or without her. Like she just keeps showcasing new Fenty. You see, anytime she puts out stuff, it sells out. I think she tries to keep things fully stocked. Most girls I know are buying her shit. I see it. And not even like Instagram models or nothing like that. Like girls I know or girls I follow on Instagram that I'm cool with. Like, oh yeah, I'm about to. They cop the Fenty like it's Fashion Nova. It's just too more expensive. So, and she got like a good price point, I believe, for most of her stuff. And it caters to like women of all skin complexions, just like other brands. But it's Rihanna at the same time. So, I don't know.
How do you feel about one of Kanye's colleagues, and French Montana, you know, not a billionaire, but he think he got them hits. And one of his detractors, you know, came out to dispute the fact that he had more hits than Kendrick. Then the numbers came up.
Me and Lyle talked about this. Me and Lyle talked about this already. We had this debate.
Okay.
The French too.
I'm gonna let Nigel speak and then I'm gonna talk.
So here's the thing, right, about the way I feel about it. Like I think when it comes to songs that sound good, like in the club or something like that, I think that's where French would shine in as far as him versus Kendrick. But
okay. I was gonna say
not him versus Thug. That's a different story. Him versus Thug. They might. You know, I'm not sure exactly as to where that might land, But him versus Kendrick, like as far and strictly songs that are club songs or anthems, as we put it, like things that you might hear, just when you're going down the street, somebody's playing it in the car. Like he might have more of those songs than Kendrick. But as far as like actual hits or whatever the case is, or like chart topping songs, I think Kendrick probably has him there. But as far as like actual like club anthems specifically, then yeah, I say French Montana got it. Now, as far as him versus Thug, that gets a little tricky.
He doesn't have the numbers to compare to both him and Thug. I mean, to Kendrick and Thug. Like if you go on Billboard, and this ain't no Wikipedia shit, you'll see both Kendrick and Thug are on more hits than French Montana himself. Now, granted, right, you mix it up with features and all that, but if you want to do that, you have French Montana's only solo hit was "Ain't Worried About Nothing," and that didn't even break the top 50. So, like, what he's saying, like, if you talk about from like a kudos standpoint, pat on your back, like, hey man, I make more banging club songs. Yeah, cool, man. Thumbs up. You know what I mean? But if you're talking about literal numbers and stuff from
the trying to little bro this guy. But that's what's up, man. You talk about keep doing your thing, bro.
Little number standpoint type of deal. He's definitely he lost in that category. And let's be for real. All his like majority of his hits, club songs, whatever like that. It's because of the features, man. Like No Stylist and No Shopping. A lot of people forget, those are French Montana songs. They think they're Drake songs. So, like,
yeah. I mean, some people probably would think it's a Drake song, but my thing is this: when it comes to French, sorry to cut you off, but like when it comes down to it, like, because I don't know about y'all, but I've been watching like a lot of these like Instagram battles.
Okay.
And a decent amount of cases, like you have the bigger artists will typically win some of these battles, and in some cases, not all, because like when you look at Boy Wonder and Hit Boy, it depends on who you go with. I go with Hit Boy, some go with Boy Wonder, but French versus Kendrick, I gotta go with French because French even put it based off like the measures of like, yo, if we going for like party club type joints,
right,
hit for hit, I'm beating Kendrick, and that's no knock at him, like, because at the end of the day, yes, Kendrick is a better artist than him. Kendrick is going to give you a better show because he's going to give you more performance outside of just rapping on the mic. But French got bangers, bro, and yes, no, despite him only having one song without a feature, at the end of the day, his music is going to ring off. Like, he doesn't, like, granted, I understand the Billboard thing, what you said loud about, like, he doesn't, like, most of his features and stuff don't make it over top 50, right? Mm-hmm. But when you really, and that, granted, that's like Billboard 100, but like when you really think back to Don't Stop, right? When Don't Stop was out, right? You couldn't go anywhere and not hear that song. If you turned your radio on.
About Pop That?
Yeah, Pop That. I always call it Don't Stop for some reason. But like Pop That, you couldn't go nowhere without hearing it. Unforgettable. Couldn't go anywhere without hearing it.
That's the problem I have with French Montana, right? So them songs you're listing, you don't think of French Montana though. You don't.
But I know they're his songs. But see, to me, that's the thing. I know they're his songs, and even then, like, to me, Unforgettable is more of a Sway Lee record to me than a French record. I'll give you that. But like, I know, to me, I'm like, I remember Drake's verse, but I also remember parts of French Montana's verse, knowing that's a French Montana song. Because at the time, that was one of his like big records after Shot Caller.
I forgot about Shot Caller. I had to get put onto that one. French Montana is right in a sense. Hey, Kendrick, I have more club songs, right? Nigel was saying this. I just disagree that he has more hits. If he met hits like strictly on Billboard, that's where I disagree. But if he met hits like more people will be playing my songs in the clubs or driving down the street, then he's right.
But he's not saying what he's saying though. He's not saying, yo, I have more hits or this, that, and the third. He's saying I got more hits than him when it comes to this certain area, this subgenre, if you put me head to head with Kendrick, we go hit for hit based off this type of arena, I'm smoking him. And I honestly, I completely agree. Cause what song is Kendrick Lamar playing Humble? When is Kendrick Lamar playing Humble, bro? He's got maybe 3 songs. He might have 4 or 5 songs at the most that actually could ring off in a club. One is
No,
Swimming
you're right.
Pools.
You're right. But
And
that's where he's right at. But he's not right with hits, and I think that's his argument. His argument is
no,
like, "Hey, my Billboard numbers are bigger."
I think that's why he
that
said
has-
specifically anthems. And like as far as like anthems and like actual club records go, I think that's where he wins, and that's the only place where he wins. Like, you know what I mean? Other than that, he doesn't really have French Montana at all. Or I should say, he doesn't really have Kendrick.
naming it, that's where he's going at. So to me, like I think not Kendrick Lamar, but French Montana knows, just like everyone else knows, he doesn't have bigger hits. Because I just heard something earlier. Every song off Damn is a platinum single. Every song is platinum off of Damn. Like each individual song, and it's like what 15 songs or whatever. Look at those type of stats. You can't match up with me when it comes to who has a hit, because if every single off my album is platinum, you're not topping me. But when it comes to like, all right, I'm looking at Kendrick versus French Montana, and French Montana saying, play anthem records with me back to back, you're not winning. I gotta go with French. And we all agree that's what French is right. But at the same time, that's what French is talking about. He's not talking about anything outside of that. Like, I'm not going to disagree about. That's why when you sent me the Billboard stuff with all of the stats, I was like, I still got to go with French, because I know French is not talking about like hits. Because don't get me wrong, Humble will go off in certain places, but you're not like that might go off at a concert or like at a festival, but like you're not playing. Can you imagine being in a club and you hear my left stroke just went viral? No, the club is not stopping to cheer that at all. Like,
no, you're right. You look, man. I know that you know, and you know that I know. I'm not disagreeing with you at all. The way it came off at first was like, hey, I got more hits than Kendrick Lamar, and granted, he was asked the question by the dude from Complex, but which is a weird question to randomly ask. But I just like, what Nigel said, that's the only thing he's right in. And I think the little feud that he has with Thug, now the thing is like, oh, well, him versus Thug. And I think he said something like, oh, Thug, why don't we go, head to head on like the live with the hits? And I think Thug will beat him handily. The thing is, I like some French Montana songs. I definitely do. But he's not a great artist. He's not, man.
But that's fine though. That he doesn't have to be a great artist at the end of the day, because like I think when it comes to making music, to some extent, there's a formula. To some extent, like when you look at it, to some extent, there's a formula for it. When like you look at a rap, like to me, I look at like, because I'm a huge 50 Cent fan, even outside of just the music itself, like his business, his acumen, and all of that. But like even 50 Cent will tell you, I'm not the lyrically most best, but he's probably one of the biggest selling rappers of all time. He is one of the biggest selling rappers of all time. A Diamond album. So a Diamond debut album, which has hardly ever been done, I think, outside of Eminem. And when you look at them two, they're polar opposites in terms of lyrical ability, even at that time. So I think when it comes to like French and Thug, or just French in general, like he's not a top tier rapper. He's not a top tier street rapper. He just makes good. He knows how to make good music, whether it's getting, and that's a talent in itself. I don't like, at the end of the day, to know who to call. Like, you're a socialite, but you know who to call to make the record right. That's a talent in itself.
It is. I think that's where DJ Khaled shines. Like
he knows
he's able to
call to carry him on the record. Like,
hey, listen, you call it what you want. That man literally went from selling DVDs to becoming who he is off of, hey, yo, bro, I need you on this record to carry me.
I got respect for French though, because he was kind of like a background guy for Max B. Max B gets knocked, and at French he kind of like instead of him riding the coattails off of Max B until Max B becomes free, French kind of went started doing his own thing, and that I can respect. You know what I mean? Because it's like, okay, you're not sitting around trying to live off the name off of Max B. You actually trying to do your own thing. You know what I mean?
But
so
he was always doing his own thing, though.
No, he always was. But let's be real, he was the background character for Max B. It was Max B, Max B, Max B, and then in the background, oh, there goes French. But it was never French before Max. And French
in terms of music, yeah. I think when it comes to him and Thug, it's gonna be a tricky conversation to know who's gonna actually win this one between the two of them.
That's easy. I'll answer that for you, Thug.
It's not. I'm going with. I think I'll probably go with Thug when I think about like records. But I guess that's when it becomes that conversation of, all right, if we're going with him and Thug, right? Well, even then, him and Thug has more hits on charts and everything like that. So, plus, I think Thug is more influential than French anyway. He is more influential.
Okay, I was gonna say because I'm like I can't remember an artist that's well known that's like, oh yeah, that's French's son. You know what I mean? I'm pretty sure French Montana has influenced people in life, right? But whoever he's influenced hasn't been, they're not big names in the rap game.
Yeah, I mean, hell, even with French though, that's true. Like, I think the crazy thing with this whole shit though is like how at first I thought they had like a real beef with each other because Thug was like, "Yo, I'm about to pull up to this nigga house. I'm about to see what's up with him." Da da da. I did more for Max B than you ever did in your life. Like, he was like, I'm gonna call you my auntie now. You Auntie French. Like, he was just being OD disrespectful. And I found out it had something to do with like his girl or some shit like that. Like French tried to take.
I think that's cap though that he did more than Max B than French did.
I agree with you on that.
Yeah.
Like I think the only way it could be slightly true would just be if he was giving more money, putting more money on his books, which is possible because he makes more money than French. But at the end of the day, French literally has held it down for Max B for the longest. Hell, French Montana got Max B on Kanye's album.
Yeah, not only that, on French Montana's albums and random mixtape songs, he had Max on there. So like he always kept Max name, like popping and alive and shit like that. So,
hey yo, speaking of like this whole thing, because I don't know if y'all noticed, but I realized the reason why French is probably calling people out is because of like the attention and the pluses that come with these battles. Because I don't know if you saw, but like with Teddy Riley versus Babyface, that battle was a classic one. They had like over 500,000 people in the Instagram live feed. They showed the metrics later on. Babyface went from like 400,000 followers on Instagram to 1.1 million followers in a matter of like a couple of days.
Really?
So like, and I think Teddy Riley went from 250,000, I think, or some shit like that, to like 800,000. A lot of stuff moved up real fast for them just because of that battle. So Babyface had 420,000, right, on the 12th. By the 21st, he had 1.1 million followers, which was 129%. Apparently his Twitter went up like 1,115.9%. His Pandora streams were up 322%. So like when it comes to music, like I could see why French, like just how you can profit from it. I could see why French is like really, I'm really trying to battle someone that's with notoriety because he's going to be able to sell more, I think. Plus he had that whole scandal, like Spotify scandal, like a few months ago.
I mean, at the end of the day, like I can see it being a good look for both people. Nobody's doing anything. It's like, why not play some of your most popular music against each other,
Exactly.
Like while everybody has an eye on it.
Exactly. And that's when it's perfect. That's like the perfect thing for them. Like this whole like the whole thing between like Teddy Riley and Babyface, it kind of just shut down the whole internet for the most part. Seeing something like that, French Montana knows he's not gonna. If French Montana was to go against Kendrick, the internet was shut down because they would just want to see Kendrick live.
Right.
If the internet, he probably could get maybe 100,000, 130,000 people to see him and Thug. Maybe two. I would watch it honestly. He probably could get maybe 200. Like he's on some Floyd Mayweather type of time. Oh, I'm gonna build the fight up, and we could build the fight up, and then when it's time for it, we're really gonna be able to eat off of it big time. So, like,
the way I see it though, like if I see Kendrick go against anybody, I want him to go against somebody who's on his caliber, and French Montana is just not it. You know, like
exactly.
maybe the J. Cole's, the Drakes. You know, Big
Him
Sean.
and Drake. Him and Drake would shut down that. You could say,
yeah, that's WrestleMania main event right there.
Right. That's what I'm saying though. Like you know how many people would actually watch on that? You might hit like somewhere near 1 million, if not 1 million.
Yeah,
you would. I mean, heck, honestly, that wouldn't even be on Instagram because I don't know if you heard, but like they're doing Diddy and Dr. Dre are trying to do a battle together, right? And Swiss Beats and Timberland were talking about it, and they were like, "Hey, we might have to try to bring this to another platform and like charge pay-per-view."
Yeah, they're out of their damn mind. That's just not happening.
Yep, I'll just catch the highlights when somebody posts it.
Put that shit on YouTube somewhere, like, because I'm not paying for shit, like.
Exactly, and I'm not gonna hold you like this is like it. Dr. Dre versus Puffy would be a crazy battle. Like I don't know who you would have winning. I'm probably gonna have to stand on Dre with that, but I think if you had someone like Kendrick Lamar and Drake, I think if they charged the pay-per-view, people would spend the bread for it. Like I wouldn't, but I think you're gonna have And let's say if they did it on a Thursday night, and then once midnight came, they both dropped like 2 EPs or something like that, or someone follows up with like dropping an album or something like that, it would go crazy for the internet.
Well, see, the thing is that like if I'm paying for them to go on a like Dr. Dre and Diddy, they got to be doing something more than just playing their records back and forth. Like I'm not going to pay for somebody just playing records on some type of stereo system. Like I can do that at my house. You know what I mean? Like it's not something I got to pay for.
But see, I feel you on that, but like I can see why someone would pay for it, because when they do those things, you actually find it's more than just music. That's why I actually like watching them, because I think Hit Boy, he played like some unreleased stuff where it was like Big Sean and some Nipsey songs. Big Sean and Nipsey, and I think he played a couple more unreleased music. Same goes with T-Pain and Lil Jon. When you saw Lil Jon, he actually, the record that with Usher, Lil Jon, and Ludacris that came out like a couple weeks ago.
Right.
It depends. Like it could have been the setup for it. But Lil Jon broke that song on the Instagram Live. So you're getting like that exclusive. It's pretty much like having like, it's kind of like having like radio, like that late night radio. If you remember how like the late night radio used to be, you might hear like the brand new song.
I feel like that would have been extremely popular in the early 2000s, where people would be like, "Oh, well, I want to tune in because I want to hear the new sound." Now today, you have so many people where they're kind of like, well, I don't care to hear the new shit because I know it's going to eventually leak somewhere or go somewhere where I can download it. Like, there's been plenty of songs that I hear that you can't get on Apple Music or Spotify or whatever like that. But you go on YouTube, sure enough, it's there, and it's not supposed to be there. You know what I mean? So I feel like back then that would have been popping. Just now, I don't think like the demand is super high for somebody to be like, "Oh, I must tune in."
I think so. I
don't agree with that.
When I look at Twitter, I believe so, because you have some people that use Twitter just for leaked music, or like I put it like this: most people I know that get told, or people I tell they need to have a Twitter, is because anything that you showed me on social media, I saw it on Twitter first. And everybody wants to know. Everybody wants to be first. Everybody wants to be in the know first. So
I'm not saying that people don't want to hear shit the exclusive shit first. I don't see people paying for Instagram Live to hear exclusive shit.
That's fair enough.
So, but with like regards to like pay-per-view with paying stuff, well, UFC 249 apparently it's official and it's going to be on pay-per-view. Now, how much the pay-per-view will be, I think it's going to be standard price because there was no mention of a discounted price or anything. But I don't think it should be. Dana should do a one-time discount just for what's going on. But regardless, I'm going to pay for it because I think the card is a phenomenal card. When you look at the card from top to bottom, even the prelims, it's an A+ card.
I think that for this time only, well, not even for this time only, but I mean, like, while you have a lot of people in the houses, why not give it to them so a lot more people can have it? You want the most eyes on it as possible, just like you have the most eyes on the Instagram battles. Like, you can make this fight a little cheaper and have more people buy in and build your fan base. Like that's not only are some people hurting for money, but also even for the people who have money, like make it a little cheaper for them, they're more likely to buy it. So it's like you're just helping yourself by doing it, I feel.
Yeah. No, I agree with you for the consumer aspect of it, but he might not do it because of his fighters. You know what I mean? You know how many events he already had to cancel and how many fighters that lost out on fights, and not everybody's making Conor money. You know what I mean? So like, so him charging that $60 pay-per-view price for the consumers, yeah, we all want a cheaper price, but for the sake of the fighters, that's probably why it's going to be, be normal pricing.
Even then, like it could still possibly be cheaper because it's it's a closed facility. So instead of renting out an arena, which he typically would do, because it's in a closed facility in Jacksonville, so he can make it like the Ultimate Fighter, where let's say he's only to make this whole UFC card possible, he only spends $30,000, right?
Okay.
Even with the profits that the typical profits that you would make off of this, he would make off good still. That's my biggest thing. Like when you look at who is it, Ferguson versus Gaethje, that's going to be the biggest payday that you're going to have to give out probably. And like, of course, you'll have like your extra, like your incentive, your bonuses and everything like that. But even then, even if he was to charge the same price and just say, well, I know everybody's not going to afford it, but though more people that have money, there's probably more people at home with money that's willing to pay to watch a fight than the amount of fans that they typically have that typically would buy a gate or would hit like a breaking gate. Like, he's not going to get if he gets $1 million on this gate, I'd be surprised. I'd be shocked. If he was to do, let's say, he could probably do 500,000, right?
Yeah.
And buys. But let's say typically $1 million out of that money would go into overhead, the stadium, licensing, permits, referees, people, anybody that's within that event to make it work, right? He's paying. That's coming out of a lot of it's coming out of the UFC's dollar, outside of like concessions and stuff like that, right? Okay. Now, you remove all of that, you don't have to worry about security. Like, the amount of security you need is very limited. You just gotta make sure nobody can come into the facility. Right. You don't have to worry about extra fees. You don't have to worry about paying for alcohol, like the alcohol charges. You don't have to worry about parking, lights, nothing. It's just like, yo, I'm gonna rent this gym out. Like, he can legit go to like Del State or Dover High or somewhere like that, or CR, and be like, yo, I want to rent this gym out, and we're gonna put our arena here. I'm gonna put not even an arena, we're just gonna put the cage here. And let's say that costs him $30,000. Typically what will cost him $1 million now only costs him 30 to 50,000. Well, I'll say 50,000 at the max. So he's going to be able to maximize his profits of it.
He can't do that though, because the only reason why he was able to do that in Jacksonville is because the governor deemed sports as essential businesses. Not every state is deeming sports as essential businesses. So that's why it's been, kind of so hard for him to get these events, and he had to cancel events. Jacksonville, well, not necessarily Jacksonville, but the state of Florida is kind of like for him the only place right now where he can actually put on fights. That's why he said something like he's going to try to put on like 3 fights within a week's time in Florida. You know what I mean? And because that's the only state right now that's like, yeah, we're going to let it happen as long as it's closed events. The governor of Florida even said like the Orlando Magic, if they wanted to run like, you know, some scrimmage games, whatever like that, they can do that.
Yeah, Florida is like the Wild West right now. Like
It is.
it's kind of crazy. Like they're just kind of doing what they want. They're opening up beaches. They're saying, "Hey, like nobody else in the United States got sports going on, but we do. Like, like just do whatever you want down here."
So, do you looking at the look? So this way we don't stray too far away. Looking at the card, right? Just the main card itself, because the prelims, I think the prelims is a killer card. That's it's not pay-per-view level, but
that could be a fight night.
Yeah, it's definitely good. But the main card itself, man, I think it's crazy the kind of card that it has.
It is a crazy card when I looked it up because you have what Stevens versus Qatar.
Yeah, Kelvin Qatar. That should be a banger of a fight.
Does anybody have the card lined up so they can read it off?
Yeah, Ferguson versus Gaethje, Cejudo versus Cruz, Ngannou versus Rosenstruck, which should be pretty good. I've been wanting to see that one. Stephens versus Qatar, De Castro versus Hardy. Then on the prelims is Pettis versus Cerrone, Olenek versus Werdum, Spann versus Alvi. Damn, this shit's covering it. Michelle Waterson versus like Sparza or something like that.
Michelle Waterson versus Esparza, Carla Esparza.
Yeah. Hall versus Souza, Luque versus Price, and then Mitchell versus Rosa. This is a stacked card.
Yep.
I'm not even gonna hold you. If he charged $60 for this, I might actually be willing to pay this because this card is stacked. God.
I feel like that's your money's worth. You know what I mean? That's not you know. And I'm not trying to trash my boxing or nothing like that. But when we went to watch Wilder versus Fury 2, that's the only fight on there that we cared about watching. I mean, I understand for like boxing purists that actually like watching the co-main event and all the other stuff, but for like, you know, those fights didn't turn out to be rock and roll fights, you know what I mean? Except for one of the title fights, but I don't want to get into that. But the UFC is, you see it, like just the main card alone. We're not even going to include the prelim. The main card alone is nothing but killer fights. You have the Greg Hardy thing, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying Greg Hardy is the best fighter in the world because he's not. But his fights, you know, the narrative is there for his fights. Of course, Jeremy Stephens, he's always there. He can knock somebody out dead cold. You know what I mean? Of course, we got Ngannou. Everybody wants to see how fast he's going to knock out Rosenstruck if that's going to happen.
I don't know if he's going to do it, man. That fight, they both got power in their hands. Like somebody isn't making it to the third. That's all I know.
Well, but see, that's what I'm saying. That each fight has a narrative that makes you want to like, I want to see it. You know what I mean? And like, I'm excited for Cejudo and Cruz because Dominic Cruz kind of came out of nowhere, and I'm excited to see that. And I wonder if Dominic Cruz can beat Triple C. You know what I mean? Or is Triple C gonna win again and start becoming cringy? I want to see Ferguson smoke Gaethje because I think he's gonna beat Gaethje. You know what I mean? Like, it's a good card, man. It's a good card. The only thing that sucks about it is you might have to pay $60, but outside of that, I think it's a good card.
I mean, what else are you doing?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's the truth. Like, if you really like MMA, and on top of it, most people have gotten a stimulus at that. So, I hate to say it, like you'll have people like that. They're like, "Yo, I'm gonna spend. Shit, I got this $1,200. I'm stuck in the house," and I'm referring to people that, let's say, have their job still, like, because I'm hoping that someone that's under that financial distress isn't trying to say, "Hey, let me go spend this money on a UFC fight when I don't know where my next paycheck is coming from." Right. But like, like someone with that's still working, getting paid, or possibly furloughed may say, "Hey, let me get a couple friends together and we just pay to watch the fight." And say, "All right, we all got our stimulus, we all get unemployment. Like, let's put 1,200, let's put $10 a piece or $20 a piece to get the fight." If he was to charge $60 for his card, like that's the real question. Though, like, what are you doing outside of this when this song comes on?
All right,
Breaking news! Breaking news! Breaking news!
Okay.
Kim Jong Un died from a botched heart surgery, and now he's basically brain dead. And I don't think it was quote unquote botch. I think they had the chance and they took it, and that's why he's no longer on this earth. I don't think somebody was like, "Oh, I accidentally messed up his heart surgery." I think somebody was like, "Look, this is the only opportunity. I'm gonna take it," and boom. Yeah, I botched his heart surgery.
I really won't believe anything until I see it, man, because like it's
You
just
see the body.
all right. I won't believe anything until there's some type of proof that something happened, because it's just like there's so many things going on. They're saying he's all right. They're saying he's brain dead. They're saying that he's actually dead. It's like, who knows what's going on? They're keeping that shit on the hush, you know?
It would be crazy if like, and this is like on some conspiracy theorist type shit. If he actually was dead, and they created like a clone of him, like they had like the Gucci clone
Oh
or
God.
some craziness. Like it would be crazy if something like that happened, or like I don't know. This is going to be a very interesting time because you really do want to see like what's going to happen. One, two, if this is even true. Because if it's not true, we'll find out in a matter of like days or quote unquote weeks. But because they're saying, right, from what I saw was like, I wasn't sure if it was a heart surgery, but I did hear like he was technically brain dead, if not actually dead. Um, and his sister would be taking in his position. So
Really?
yeah, because like you gotta realize like he's like his father. I believe it was his father that was running the country before his father died.
Yeah.
Well,
So
yeah.
he inherit. So like it would just go on to the next kin unless he has a son, which I think wouldn't be the smartest idea.
Well, I mean, how young would his son be at this point in time? You know what I mean? Wouldn't he be like a younger person at this point?
I don't know. Nah. I doubt he has a son. Kim Jong Un apparently is 36.
Really? I mean, it's possible he has a kid. Probably some little, bastard child running around or something like that.
Wow. He said that pretty strongly.
All right. Let me not call him a bastard child, but some illegitimate kid that he's not claiming. That's what I'll say.
Well, they say he got 1 to 3 children, so.
From being American, how impactful is this to our country? Or is this just world news? Because I know in North Korea, right, this is extremely impactful. But to us in the good old USA, is this really, going to turn the world over for us?
I think it means something. I think you guys probably be able to speak more to it than I can, but I will say this. I think it means something just because, like, America and Korea they've always had, like, this back and forth thing to some extent.
Right.
Like, and Korea has always tried to pose themselves as a threat to the U.S. or have been a threat to the U.S. in some capacity or attempted to. So I think the question becomes, based off whoever the next leader is, what's going to happen? Because like it could be a situation where if whoever fulfills his place or fills in his place says, well, I think America has something to do with it, and they really try to create like a war or something at this moment, which would be horrible for everybody. But I don't know. I'm very curious to see what happens. I do think it's going to have some impact on the U.S. though. I think it's still too early to determine.
I'm not sure as to how it's going to really affect us. I know it will in some way, shape, or form because, we have to communicate with Korea and we've had this little back and forth with them. But at the same point in time, maybe we might be able to talk to their next leader on a better fashion. But at the same point in time, it really depends on who our leader is at the time as well. So I guess it's like a wait and see type situation.
And I can agree to that. I think even if it is a wait and see situation, it's a wait and see situation, but I think it's also one of those being prepared for what happens. Because I don't know about you, but I'm very curious. If this is true, I'm very curious to see how the leader here will speak on it.
I don't think it's going to be a public thing. I think this is
what he's going to speak on it if he can.
Yeah, he'll say something.
Yeah, the president will be, but like, what plans of actions they're really going to take? It's not going to be a public thing. Kim Jong-un is not a socialistic thing for here in America. He's more or less a political thing and a military thing for America. And America, they don't really publicize Department of Defense stuff. The Kim Jong-un thing, man, it's just I agree with you guys. It's a wait and see type of thing. I think socialistically, it won't be publicized as much as like if it was a political thing.
What I heard is they injected some Lysol into his heart, and that's why he's dead now.
That makes sense. That makes he took one of the Clorox pills too.
Yeah.
Yo, you saw like the Clorox chewables?
Yeah.
Yo, did you I don't know if y'all heard about it, but there were 30 calls to the New York Poison Commission or whatever, community or whatever, whoever they are, caretakers in New York, at like within 18 hours after that whole injecting Lysol thing, man.
Yeah, people actually did it.
Yeah, it's sad, man. People are, and I'm not gonna say all of them are gonna die, but like definitely hurting themselves, like drinking fucking bleach and trying to put Lysol on themselves. Like, what type of dumb shit is that? And even if it was said as a sarcastic jest, like, he has to understand the power his words have,
Yes.
Like, that's really the problem about all of this.
Yeah. He can't joke lightly like we can, because people take him very seriously.
Right.
Since he is the quote unquote leader of the free world. You know what I mean?
Right. And I think with him being the leader of the free world, it goes back to like conversations that I've had with people, just in the terms of like, in certain spaces, you just gotta be mindful of like what you say, because I think a lot of times we assume people have more common sense than what they do. Yeah. And we'll be like, oh yeah, I think this person should know not to inject themselves with bleach, or to drink bleach, or inject themselves with like Lysol or something like that. Right. But it's only when someone says something like that they recognize, like, yo, I didn't know people were just that. I was that influential to people. So,
I mean, he or anybody really can't be surprised, right? There's people out there who are really that gullible and naive, kind of like the 18-year-old kid doctor, and there was people actually showing up believing he was a real life doctor.
Dr. Love.
Oh yeah, he was a real doctor though.
He was.
No, yeah, you're right. Yeah, he was. But I mean, like, there is people like that in the world that just like, oh my God, I have to do it because he said it. You know what I mean? Or she said it. I have to do it. And it's just common sense. It's not something you could teach, man.
Yeah, and that's the sad reality to it all. Because I think if people use common sense for once, they would have no problem. We wouldn't even be in problems like this. Like, you see, like in Georgia right now, they just started opening back up. There's a high probability that there's going to be increased cases there also. Like, even the governor of Atlanta is the mayor of Atlanta, Keisha Bottoms, is trying to tell people to stay in the house despite what the governor is like pushing for.
Yeah. Also, I just recently got an alert on my phone as we were like recording. Apparently, the NBA is starting to open up some of their buildings up as recent as May 1st, and they're gonna let some teams start. Well, let me read exactly what it says. Teams can open practice facilities to players in cities where local governments have eased stay-at-home orders as soon as May 1st.
I don't know. See, this is my problem with that, right? It's good for the sake of entertainment and keeping people satisfied.
Right.
But like, let's be honest, man. This stuff is not something to just say, oh, we should just start opening back up certain facilities. Definitely for even with the UFC personally, I can't wait for that card, but I think nobody should be having any close contact with anyone right now.
Right.
I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
But the reason why this stuff is happening, we live in a country where it's so focused on the economy. So that's why this stuff is going on. It's not because it's realistically, damn our entertainment. Damn if we're bored or not.
Figure it out.
Hey, I'm, Mr. or Mrs. CEO of this company. How much money can we produce in these times? Oh, we can just have, open scrimmages and that could get us X amount of what? Oh yeah, let's just do that.
Right.
I really don't care that it's for our entertainment, right? As much as I'm a UFC fan, MMA fan, Dana White is not putting on the fights for the fans. He's putting on the fights because he's like, I need to make fucking money.
Yeah.
So,
and the fighters need to make money too.
Yeah, exactly. It's a economic thing. And so, like the NBA doing that, what they're doing is it's for a money thing. And honestly, like it's getting to the point where you have one side of the spectrum where you have people are kind of like open things up because we need the money.
Right.
We need motherfucking business, this and a third. Then you have the other side of the spectrum where people are like, damn the money will be there. We need to focus on our health because we have a whole lot of people die. America is like the number one country in the world with COVID cases right now.
Yes, because we haven't really handled it well from the beginning. And like, don't get me wrong. Like I understand, people want to make their money. People want to be entertained. There's things that need to happen. But at the same point in time, it's unfortunate that we put those things first instead of just keeping everybody safe, because honestly, the longer we keep on putting off like staying inside, the longer we're going to have to actually stay inside. And hopefully it never gets to the point where we're just going to have to stay inside, like with really strict guidelines. Cause I feel like they've been talking about it.
It's going to be martial law before you know it, bro.
Well, no, like one thing that's going to happen is because some people are staying inside and the houses are super clean, they're going to end up getting sicker because their immune system is going to be all types of jacked up when they actually get out in public around people who actually are sick. And that's the thing. Like, you know what I mean? We got to do this now so we don't suffer later. But it seems like nobody has that on their mind. They're just like the money, and which I get it. But it's like what's more important at the same time.
Listen, man, they always can pay to make another you, man. That's how they look at it. That's how they look at it, sadly.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's sad, but you're right.
Some people value money more than just human being life. Anyway, I wouldn't be surprised for somebody to be like, "Hey, man, damn, hey, you heard what Dr. Al said, right? A couple of them kids gonna die anyway. That's how people think. That's how people really, really think. And
that's so crazy to just have it. Like he literally on his Jordan type of time. Like I'm like, bro, how could you not? Like how can you just say, oh, maybe 2 or 3% of kids. So what's that? Out of 1 million kids, we're talking what? Maybe 200,000 or 300,000 kids might die because of going back to school early. That's crazy. North Carolina shut down school for the rest of the year.
So did Delaware.
Nah, man. Hold on, wait. When you say the rest of the year, you mean the rest of the school year or like the rest of the year?
School year.
For
Delaware. For Delaware school year.
I know I looked at some girl's Instagram earlier that I know from back here. She lives out Carolinas now, but I believe it said for the whole school for the rest of the year. Because she's like a teacher. Yeah, calendar year.
That's wild, man. But I mean, you got to keep the kids safe. You know, I don't know what Dr. Oz is on. Like, see, that's the thing. Like, Dr. Oz is saying 2 to 3% of kids are gonna die. He's not saying, oh well, somebody come up to him and they say, okay, well, is your kid in that 2 to 3%? He's like, nah. But those others 2 to 3, those other 2 to 3, like they might die, man, and it's sad. He's like, but we'll be all right. Shit.
Yeah, it's like, yeah, you know, they'll figure it out. They tough. They'll figure it out. So
y'all ready to close it up?
Yeah,
Yes,
let's end this thing off. You know what I'm saying? Let me get my last closing words. Yeah, everybody stay safe. Hopefully we see y'all next week. Stay out the
Hopefully
way.
we're gonna be here forever. Fuck you mean?
Yeah,
We're always gonna be here.
chill. You gotta chill. Yo, I was at the grocery I was at the grocery store and I was checking out at self-checkout. And this girl behind me, she was on the register and she's telling the other lady, yo, you know, you can put your stuff on the turnstile, on the turnbelt. Now that this lady, like, I'm done bagging this lady's stuff up. She's like, no, I'm gonna wait till she's done. She was like, man, but you can, so we can make the line move faster. She's like, I'm not moving. So, yeah, like, and granted, she had to be like maybe like 10 feet away from this woman when she said this, if not more. She's like standing by like at the end of the aisle versus where this lady is at like the cash register. And this is in a grocery store. And I was just like, wow. I was like, let me get out of here because I was like, this might end up popping off. Then a manager came. So like, that's what I'm saying. Even if it's not because this virus clapped you, be careful. Serious. Be careful, man. And rest in peace, Fred the Godson.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Fred the Godson. Everybody be safe. You know, try to keep yourself busy. Take on a new hobby. Shit. Like, there's a million things that you could either take out the time and learn more about or just look into. Start knitting, looking at ancient Greek gods, you know, something, anything.
You did.
No, whatever you can do to keep yourself busy.
Crochet, no shame. Crochet, no shame. Crochet.
Yeah. that's actually kind of cool. Wow, you got anything?
Yeah, most definitely. Everybody continue to stay safe, save your money. Actually, I got a couple of my homeboys that said they're close to saving up 20 bands through the pandemic. So, you know, I want all my homies and my homegirls to make sure that, you know, save as much money as you can.
Buy some stock.
What about the thoughts?
I don't know them. Come on, man. You know Lisa listening to this. Come on. But be safe. You know what I mean? Stay with your loved ones. And I'm going to piggyback what Nigel said. Definitely look for some new hobbies. I definitely thought of some new things that I want to do. And,
like what? What are you looking into? Tell us now.
All right, so tell us now. Really demanding. But one thing that I really want to get serious with is I really want to start my YouTube channel. I shouldn't say my YouTube channel. I want to create a YouTube channel, whether it's just me by myself or me with other people. I think you know, I want to really create content.
We got a
YouTube.
Beyonce of the group. You about to go solo already. You're like, yo, bro, this is cool. I'm about to do this YouTube thing, bro.
No, I know. I want to do the podcast and the YouTube thing. I don't want to just do one.
I'm just joking. I'm joking with you.
Oh,
bro.
Okay. But me and Nigel, we've been talking about you know, beats and stuff like that lately. So it's just like, you know, don't just sit dormant in your house and watch Netflix all day. You know what I mean? Just look at other stuff. Definitely try to save your money. You know, RIP Fred the Godson. RIP to all the families that are affected by somebody that might have passed. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just everybody, just enjoy your time. You know, hopefully enjoy our content through this podcast, and you know, make sure you give us all a follow. And for me, it's Big Cozy, Too Cozy. You know, and just make sure everybody, fuck it. You know. Go outside and run around.
Everybody.
You was starting off strong and then you just kind of was like, yo, whatever, yo.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, if y'all live, just try to live to see another day, man. Yeah, I try to actually do a liquid diet on it during this time.
Really? How'd that work out?
I was supposed to be doing it with somebody for 3 days, and
Stop
I got too much.
incriminating.
No, it's fine. I ain't even tripping.
This is just
No,
extra stuff.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah, we might as well keep this. This is the end of words. One thing I wanted to say before, well, go ahead and tell your story, and I guess I'll have a last word.
Nah, well, I did this liquid diet. Like, I was supposed to be doing it for 3 days, but I got like too much shit to get done for school. So what I did was I did one complete day of it, and I ain't gonna hold, bro. Like, I didn't eat from 8 p.m. Wednesday until like I stopped eating like 8 p.m. Wednesday, and I didn't eat again until like 11 o'clock, 11 a.m. Friday. So it was like 36, like 36 hours. Like, it was interesting. The first day I felt great. I just I made sure to make smoothies and drink a lot of water. I did, for me, because Shorty said just no solid foods. So I just had I just ate peanut butter. Like, I would have a scoop of peanut butter just for like proteins and some fats. And I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Like, I had mad energy, but when I woke up the day 2, I felt like I got hit by a brick, and I was just like, bro, I couldn't concentrate. I had like the worst migraine, and I was like, yo, I need to eat something.
You was dehydrated. You was famished.
I guess my ribs was touching, man.
So there's one thing I want.
That fly from Nazar's shoe landed on my head.
There's one thing I want. There's one thing I want everybody who's listening to do. You know, take out some time this week and love show your loved one some love and listen to the song "Kill You" by Fredo Santana. I listened to that song. I love that shit, man. Like, it's just such a catchy song. It's dumb as hell, but no, it's not a dumb song. I like it.
Yeah.
R.I.P. Fredo.
R.I.P. Fredo. R.I.P. Mac. R.I.P.
Fred the Godson. R.I.P. Prodigy.
Yeah, today was the 25th anniversary too.
Yeah, man.
Mobb Deep. So
R.I.P. Prodigy's like in my top 5, man.
You look
your favorite rappers?
Yeah, he's in my top 5.
Oh, so
man, what is your top 5? Because Prodigy, man. I'm curious to hear the other 4.
All right,
I'm not saying that from a bad standpoint. That's actually very interesting.
All right, top 5 rappers, right, for me, and this isn't the best rappers, like,
right? It's like it's what you like the most. I understand.
So, Prodigy's in there.
Okay.
Currency's in there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Busta Rhymes is in there.
Okay.
Lupe's in there.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And Tyler's in there.
That's not a bad top.
I'm not mad at that. That's a good top
solid.
5.
That's my top 5.
That's like his most unconventional top. That's like in the terms of unconventional of like what's your top 5? Biggie, Jay-Z,
yeah.
Like, fuck that. Anytime somebody says that shit,
Tupac, Nas.
Yeah.
Every time somebody says some shit like that, I'm like, okay, y'all don't listen to rap like that. You just you Google the top 5 rappers of all time. Like, that's what happened.
Yeah, but that's how it is though, man. Like, it was like for the longest, my top 5 used to have, like, I used to always just say, if I was short on who to say for like a placeholder, I would say Tupac, Biggie, Jay, Nas, and then instead of saying Eminem, I would just be like Big Pun. Like,
wow. Everybody's gonna be like, yeah, he's right, yeah.
What you gonna argue? You can't even argue me at that.
You can't argue with that.
Like, yo, that's a shitty top 5. Have you listened to Capital Punishment? Like,
classic too.
Yeah. Yo, with Mobb Deep being your top 5, right?
That's
I'm sure
not
you're like
Prodigy specifically.
Yeah. Well,
the only reason I say that is because, like, before I listen to a single Mobb Deep album, I listen to HNIC.
Okay. Well, even then though, so this is you're still a Prodigy fan, so we just gonna take this one track from like the Infamous album, right?
Okay.
Like, so what's your thoughts on like the Infamous Prelude? You remember how that goes, right? He was like,
trying to.
I've been stabbed.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
you know
yeah.
what I'm saying? I'm a little guy, but you know what I'm saying? I'm sure anybody listening to this thinks, yeah, we're gonna see the Mobb Deep dudes and see what's up. I'm gonna just tell
Yeah.
you, Duke, don't waste your time on a hospital bill. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm a little nigga, but I can get niggas too. You know what I'm saying? It ain't nothing to get stabbed, shot, popped up.
That shit is funny because I heard somebody say that, and I was just like, "Yo, who said?" Like a long time ago, I was like, "Yo, who said that?" And then I listened to that prelude. I was just like,
You
"Yo,
got,
okay, geez, man, like
yo,
just put that on the fucking album."
bro, we're gonna have to have a talk one day.
Yeah. All right, y'all ready to
That
wrap it
song,
up?
yeah, that song, and then each song, like the way they enthuse you, we gotta have a conversation one day, bro.
I could just talk about that album, man. That album's fucking great. All right, let's stop. All right,
Yeah. Let's stop.
all right, man. Y'all have a good week. We're out.
One.
Boom, boom, boom.